together in Hong Kong society. 歡迎大家又嚟到中文大學啦！我哋喺未來城市研究所多元文化行動計劃我哋咧又開始我哋新一個嘅線上手工藝工作坊。咁新嘅朋友啦，可能第一次 join 我哋啦，俾我介紹一下喺呢一個嘅多元文化行動計劃裏邊咧，我哋要做嘅嘢其實就係希望可以將一啲唔同嘅文化嘅知識咧，可以帶到俾大家。咁點解咧？因為香港其實好好彩咧，有好多唔同嘅民族一齊生活啦。喺百幾年前已經開始係咁，到今天咧唔同嘅民族咧一路都係俾我哋嘅社會同埋文化好多嘅貢獻嘅。或者喺度問下大家，雖然我睇唔到你哋嘅樣啦，你可以舉手嘅。就係今日有冇人飲過羅宋湯咧？好似有幾隻手舉咗，係咪啊？或者今朝有冇食過菠蘿包咧？可能都唔少人做過呢件事嘅。咁點解會咁問咧？因為我哋今日要介紹嘅文化咧就係俄羅斯文化。咁羅宋湯同埋菠蘿包嘅，我哋而家好普及嘅一種食品啦喺香港，但係原來咧佢嘅來源就係俄羅斯文化。喺大概成100年前咧就已經開始有俄羅斯人嚟到香港，咁佢哋喺度生活嘅時候咧開咗啲餐廳，於是又有俄羅斯嘅湯啦。俄羅斯嘅麵包啦，咁慢慢啦，我哋華裔嘅人學咗之後，就變成我哋今日嘅羅宋湯同埋菠蘿包啦。咁我哋一陣咧就會介紹我哋而家生活緊喺香港嘅一位俄羅斯朋友出場，係今日我哋嘅講者。咁但係呢個之前咧，就俾我用英文轉下台，介紹一下頭先我講咗啲乜嘢。Hello Irina, I was just saying in Cantonese how we have benefited from the Russian community in Hong Kong almost 100 years ago when they first came to Hong Kong. In fact, there are two things in Hong Kong's cuisine that are very, very popular, hugely popular, and we consider them even local. One is the soup called borscht, right?
Yes.
And the other one is the bun that we call pineapple bun. This bread, I'm not sure if you're not. You know the pineapple bun, bolo bao?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And of course, I was telling the viewers that these two things that are considered very, very Hong Kong style are actually coming from the Russian community who came to Hong Kong and have stayed here 100 years ago. And so what we're going to do is to continue with this interaction with the Russian community. Right now, I think you have roughly 5,000 people in the community in Hong Kong. Is that correct?
Yes, well, if we speak about the Russian-speaking people, it's up to 4,000 or 5,000. That's true.
Yeah, right. So I think without further ado, let me just tell the viewers who you are. Okay, let's go on to introducing our speaker. We're very happy to have Ms. Irina Ustyugova, who is one of the authors in this book. If you have the book and you see me in the corner, the handicraft book that we published last year, and this ragdoll that she's going to teach us do is on page 6 and 7. So if you have the book, feel free to bring it out. But let me just introduce you to Irina, who is a very, very active person promoting the understanding of Russian culture in Hong Kong. She is founder of the Russian Culture Festival and curator of the exhibition called Visuals last year, which was held at the Hong Kong Cultural Center. Of course, she is also co-founder of the Llama Art Collective Art Space, and you'll be very interested to know that she is also a language teacher. She teaches Russian language and culture for over 10 years now, right? And very, very passionate artist about sharing with us her love for Russian traditions and inspire everybody to learn more about her homeland. 喺呢一度咧，我就要介紹下我哋嘅講者出場啦。Irina 啦，或者係伊琳娜尤斯圖哥娃女士啦，咁佢係俄羅斯裔㗎啦，喺香港住咗超過10年啦。咁一路以嚟咧就有教俄文啦，又有教俄羅斯文化，咁係好熱心幫香港人咧了解多啲關於佢家鄉嘅文化嘅。咁佢同時係一個藝術家。舊年咧，譬如話佢就創辦咗呢個或者係做咗呢個策展人嗰個好受歡迎嘅展覽叫做民族視覺藝術展覽。另外佢又創辦咗香港俄羅斯文化節啦，以及南丫藝術集體藝術空間嘅聯席創辦人嚟嘅。 咁喺呢一度咧，我哋好開心請到佢嚟啦。咁唔單止喎，仲有個女咧，9歲 Irina。Hi. So this is 9-year-old Irina who is helping us with the workshop today. A big welcome to you, and I'm sure the young viewers who are with us today will be very happy to see you. Thank you so much for helping us. So, Irina, do you have anything to add? This is a very brief introduction to you. I'm sure we're not putting all the information here. Is there anything you'd like to add so we know more about you?
All good. I think in case I come up with some ideas, I will insert them into the text and share a bit later.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So then why don't we start with an understanding of this rectal culture that we have prepared for us. So if you could tell us a bit more what it is, why do we have a doll? Why are we using fabric to make dolls?
Okay, sure. Hello everyone again. So I'm here today to tell you about the dolls, and I've got a cute Russian girl with me, so she will also help me to explain the necessity of dolls and playing with them. Today with me I have not only the cloth to make some handmade doll, which is might become very one of your favorite dolls, hopefully. I also brought some other things to show and to share. And it will just remind all of us that, well, playing with dolls, it's probably the part of the humanity from the very beginning. The Russian doll, so this old style doll, as we're mentioning, as we're talking about them today. So it's considered that they appeared around 1,000 years ago among the Slavic tribes. So we're speaking about the Slavic tribes, and a bit later, around 13th century, the Slavic tribes separated into, especially or Eastern Slavic tribes separated into 3 smaller tribes. So the Russians are one of 3 Eastern Slavic tribe. So that's why if you think, for example, that why do we speak about the Slavic things and Slavic dolls, and I'm Russian, and what's the connection? So the connection is very, very close, because the Russians are basically Slavic people. The history of the doll is very, very old, especially this one, because this is considered to be the simplest thing to do, and just an inevitable part of the everyday life. Mm-hmm. So when myths were explaining how the world is arranged, people also believed in superstitions, right? So they used the superstitions to protect them from the things that they didn't understand, or maybe they understood but felt that the superstitions might protect. So the dolls were basically the part of the superstition culture, and that's why there are so many things around production of the doll, and I'm going to mention it today. Of course, nowadays we are more advanced and we have the scissors and many other things like internet and so, but still the hands were the main way to make the doll, of course. That's why I will be demonstrating some techniques, not exactly the technique, but some ways of making it. But of course, for our today's workshop, we prepared the more proper pieces of clothes. So anyway, so I was meant to say that the doll, first of all, was protecting people and from evil, and helping in social activities in various events and in various parts of life. The dolls it might have been a present, for example, for a child when the child is born, and all the life of the child until like some certain age, the doll was protecting. Maybe it was performing different function, like the baby is not sleeping well, so let's make a little doll for the baby, so that the baby sleeps well. We don't have enough rain, so let's make a doll, and the doll will be calling for rain. Let's we don't feel well, so let's make the doll which will be protecting us and giving us health and protecting us from diseases.
Right.
There were dolls for mothers. For example, you see that many hands. well, mothers will understand for sure why you need that many hands, especially nowadays. And the dolls from just married couple were created, like you see on the picture on the right side. The hands are connected and they tied to each other. So it symbolized that the newly married couple, just married couple, well, is tied to each other for forever, right? So each piece of this doll meant was significant. And also an interesting thing, so we see different pictures here on the presentation. We are going to do something today, and all of these things will be totally different. Don't be surprised and don't try to think that, okay, so I need to make the doll exactly like on the picture. Not at all. Each doll is a doll made by a certain person. It means that it will have the features of the certain person who was making this doll, right? Not like, not
very interesting, Irina, because you were saying how you can improvise as you go along, right? So dolls are for different people and they should all be very different. So it doesn't have to be just one standard format and everybody follows, right? So
exactly. Yes, exactly. And also, of course, there is no way to. There are some traditions. For example, this type of doll, like the doll asking for help, will be put in the hands up, right? The doll will symbolizes the fertility, and the mother will have a very big, beautiful body. And the doll of the just married couple has 2 hands. So there are some features, but in general, each doll is unique. There is no one and exact way to make the doll. So, for example, today we will be rapping, we will do the basic movements. But in general, for example, I would like to put the shawl maybe, and Pauline would like to put something else, so it doesn't matter. Everything is good, whatever you want, whatever you do, and whatever you think about while doing that matters.
Yeah. I was very interested in this particular doll for mothers. On the picture in the left, there are 10 hands. So it symbolizes the mother has too much to do, really.
Right. Yeah. So many things to handle. Yeah. So also it makes sense, right?
Yeah. Okay. And it's so true still today. Mothers have too much to do, really.
Yes.
So I go to the next slide. So in a way, as you were saying, that when babies grow up or when children grow up, the doll will also change, because depending on the situation, the mother may be adding different things to the dolls and to give the child company, etc. So it becomes a mascot, as you say here.
Yes, exactly. So, for example, on this picture, we see this mother with the beautiful shapes of the woman. On the right side, on the first row, there is a very tiny doll symbolizing the baby, but also it has grain inside it. So it was also meaningful, kind of, we keep the grains until next year, for that next year to use it and to plant. But at the same time, so it means that, imagine a child is playing with this doll. The doll has grains inside, so there is a pure connection with nature, right? What is mythology? What is the superstition, right? We're trying to explain everyday things, and people lived. Where did they live? Well, we speak about Russia. It's the vast territories, the rivers, the forests, and it's the place where you realize where you cannot survive alone, like individual. That's why we have a very strong community spirit, right? Because you realize that you will survive only when you are a very strong community. And if you ever go to villages, if you go to travel in Russia, somewhere in the smaller towns and villages, dark in the night, if you go out, you will hear nothing. It's just, it's nothing. You see the beautiful sky, the forest is somewhere there, the river is somewhere here, but there are no sounds unless these are the insects. And you realize that, well, you don't feel the king of the nature being a little part of all this universe. And that's a very, very strong idea in our mentality still, right? Like, even though we have the big cities and lots of people live in the big cities and people are traveling already and people go to universities, but still this feeling that actually you are a part of this and you have to coexist in respect to the nature, and because, well, you are not the king, you are just a part of it. So all this is brought as well, this understanding and this feeling is also brought through the dolls. So this little tiny doll, which I started to speak about, yes, it has the grains. And it means that, for example, a child is playing with one of the most precious things, which is kept for the next year. It's playing with the baby's playing with the grains. So the baby's protected the grains by loving the doll, and the grain protect as like a symbol of life, right? Protects the baby and helps him to grow strong and survive until next year. So we speak about the village, right? So no one was protected from diseases or something like this.
Yeah, I think this is very important to understand. So it's not just a toy, but rather you're actually teaching the children that they are part of nature, because it was an agricultural society that, what goes into the dolls are the grains. And so, you are literally interacting with what you eat, your food, and the resource of life. And I think they're very, very important kind of socialization as well, right? Let me just say it in Cantonese for a little while, just to make sure everybody understands, because it's anthropological now. That 我諗係頭先啱 Irina 都提到一樣好重要嘅原因。咁呢啲公仔咧，其實就唔係淨係愛嚟玩嘅，而係話因為喺農耕時代，俄羅斯當然係以農為本嘅一個社會。咁細路哥玩嘅係啲咩嘢咧？原來呢啲公仔裏邊咧係擠住一啲穀物嘅。咁亦即係話，當細路哥玩呢啲公仔嘅時候咧，佢哋會產生一種聯繫，係同自己嘅土地啦，同自己食物嘅來源啦，有一種互動。咁呢個其實係一種社教化裏邊一個好重要嘅一個過程。嗱，大家睇到咧，就係呢啲公仔咧喺呢個呢種圖裏邊咧，有各式各樣唔同嘅人物啦，亦都講到就係喺一個農村社會裏面。相互之間咧，尤其是家庭關係咧，好重要咧。大家都係好緊密咁樣去聯繫同埋一齊去生活嘅。咁大家可以見到，即係就算一個好似玩具咁樣嘅一個物件咧，其實裏邊都包含住好多唔同嘅文化嘅意義咯。So very briefly, I have interpreted or translated this. So perhaps we can go then on to the next session that you have prepared for us. The doll's name is called Motanka, is that right?
Yes, it's called Motanka, Kukla Motanka, because it comes from the verb, you can already see it on the next slide. So it comes from the verb matat. The idea is that, so one of the, what we are doing, we are taking the cloth, and in order to begin the doll, in order to make the dress or something, we are going to wrap. Matat means to wrap, so we have wrap in. That's why we say, well, in English it's called the rag doll. If we translate directly, we call it the wrapping doll. So the doll which is wrapped into the pieces of cloth, right? So also it's in Pauline is preparing the accessories for later decoration. So that's why you can hear the sound of beans. So basically, the idea was that it's also. You wrap it and you feel the cloth. So as I mentioned at the very beginning, that we prepared the square shape already. But what's the idea? The idea was that you have the piece of fabrics and you never use the scissors. You just use the wrong side. So you are taking it and you tear the cloth, right, in order to make the suitable parts. And thus, so you see, it's kind of the shape is. Well, like this, looking very natural, and this is what you are going to wrap, right? And it's a very important moment that you touch the. Of course, we speak about the organic things, so it's not about. We didn't have silk like in everyday life, of course, and or some artificial fabrics. So we speak about the cotton and linen. So it means that they're very organic and very soft, and maybe they're like smelling quite well, smelling naturally. You can imagine the organic. No, it's not this already too contemporary. And the idea is that you work with it, and how does it work? It works like a kind of massage for your hands, and it makes you peaceful. So when you're producing, when you're wrapping, it makes you peaceful, calm, rather kind. In Russia we don't have that many nursery rhymes for kids, but we have a lot of lullabies, and we also have so-called cute songs. In Russian they're called patieshki. The patieshki's idea is that you collaborate and you play with a child, and you touch the child. For example, Polina, I would need to use your hand for a second. I'm going to show one little потешка to you. So what's the idea? You take the baby's, well, mine is not a baby, but still, you take the baby's hand and you start playing with the baby. So you take the fingers and you like sing a little song, a nice little poem, by massaging the palm. So I would say, Сорока белобока, кашу варила, деток кормила. And then I'm starting, so I'm saying that the magpie was cooking the porridge to feed her children. And then I'm saying that she gave the porridge to this magpie, to this magpie, to this magpie, to this magpie. And she didn't give the porridge to this one because she didn't help. Right? So what I'm doing, so I'm singing a little song which, well, makes sense, right? It teaches kids to help, but also I'm touching the baby's hand. I'm making a little massage. I'm also touching the fingers of the baby and make the baby calm. So this is what actually Kukla Motonka was making for with mothers as well. So you are wrapping it, you are touching it, and you're also calming down yourself.
Right.
The next slide was also about this.
Yeah.
So,
it's 其實我喺啱啱 Irina 提到就係嗰個公仔咧，傳統上亦都係令到佢製作呢個公仔嘅女性啦，去覺得到寧靜，因為喺處理塊布啦，聞到個布啦，以及一路去撫摸住嗰啲布，係往往就係人與人之間嘅關係，尤其是媽媽同埋 BB 之間嗰個關係嘅一種反應嚟嘅。咁喺呢一張 slide 裏邊咧，更加講到咧係當媽媽係屋企裏邊一個好重要嘅人啦，佢主持家務嘅時候咧，嗰種寧靜啊、平和同埋慈愛嘅感覺咧，係通過呢一個做呢個布偶布公仔咧，可以傳遞到出嚟嘅。Yes.
Okay. On the picture, we see the doll, which is called after one of these like spirits as well. Biriginya. Biriginya means to be. Biri comes from the word birish, to take care. So this is a caring doll. It's the symbol of the mother. Not exactly the mother, like mother of the children, but mother as the major atmosphere maker and housekeeper. So that's why this process of mata, this process of calming down, was especially important for women, because women were responsible for the atmosphere in the house, right? If you feel nervous, if you are scared, like if you don't understand like what is happening, so your children will be reacting in the same way, and all the family, right? So you have to calm down first yourself by wrapping it all, by making it, and then everything will come to you.
Yes. So the next session is going to be about how the doll is constructed. Is that right?
Yes, so the idea is that there are two major structures in the doll. First is the vertical, so it was just like you see it on the picture. So the vertical, so it's kind of the body of the doll. Well, again, our ancestors, they tried to explain everything, right? Every action was meaningful. So it symbolizes spiritual development, the direction towards the sky, the heaven. And the next picture will another move, the spiral. So just actually like twisting. That's what we'll see it, especially in other dolls when you make something for her or for hands, for example. It symbolizes the trajectory of galaxies in the universe, or just movement, because you can see the stars, right? You see this lead movement. So this is how they try to explain the world and to.
Wow, it's very philosophical.
Yeah. So each doll has 3 parts. So 3 parts: subterranean, terrestrial, and celestial. Right. So as well, it coincides to explain the human's life as well, coming from the land, living, and then with soul going up, or if it was speaking about the paganism, right? The spirit goes up, and body turns to ground, depending on the world, or depending on the tribal something. So it's again this 3 layers which explain the life, the circle of life.
Okay. Right.
Okay, materials and colors. So today what we are having, traditionally they are made of natural cloth, as I mentioned. We are having the basic color, like it's kind of linen, for body and head. We are going to have some nicely decorated thing for apron maybe, and other parts if we want to add something. The cloth for the skirt, and we also have the cloth for maybe another skirt, depending on how we feel. And also we'll take one for kind of handkerchief to cover the head. It's impossible that the woman in Russia was not covering her head and walking like with hair up open. Okay, and also as I mentioned, Polina was preparing some accessories just to decorate the doll as well for the thread. So it's recommended to have the red one. Today we have the red ribbons and we have this natural thread. So again, as I mentioned before, so there are no unique recipe how to make a unique way. So every doll is unique. There is one more important thing to mention about the doll. Scissors never used. Yes, I've mentioned that as well already, and I showed how we used it here. If you don't mind, let's show the slide about the face. I think it's the next one I would like to explain. Yes, another interesting thing is that the traditional motanka Russian doll has no face. It looks a bit weird, maybe, like how come there's no face? Well, the idea is that, just again, we speak about the superstitions, and it was believed that making no face for the doll will not let the evil spirits get into the doll and thus do harm to people. And yes, it was considered that the doll should be done with love, because it will be protecting your children, it will be protecting your family. So, and you should think about only good things while doing that, and it will help you to calm down. And this is how you put this good, let's say, energy into the doll, right?
用今日嘅語言講就係用正面嘅能力係嘛？我哋有正向思維啦，一路做個公仔嘅時候咧，就灌注呢啲正面嘅思想俾嗰個公仔，咁我哋咧就可以保持住自己嘅心靈同埋我哋嘅精神咧會更加健康。I think this is so important, especially today when we have the COVID-19. So when we are, everyday life, we need to calm ourselves down.
Exactly. Yes.
Maintain all this positive energy and be very, positive about life itself, right? And I think this is very.
So we are perfectly timed. Yeah. Polina reminded me that we actually brought some dolls to show you. We don't have the traditional dolls because, well, we have some traditional dolls handmade, but it's the family doll, so we. It's kind of unique. We brought a few dolls made by designers. One of them is originally the model itself is called Tilda. It's not, I think it was not born in Russia, but the way that this doll is made is very Russian. So you may see that she has a lot of layers over here, and they're all made of traditional organic materials. Mm-hmm. And well, she almost has no face, like the Russian motanka doll, but again, this is the style of particularly this doll, so we wanted to show you the colors. Polina used to play with this kind of doll for a while. Another one, it's actually it's the evil spirit from the fairy tales. It's called Baba Yaga, because well, you see she has a big nose and she has this broom and some bat, but some evil spirits in Russian fairy tales, they were not only evil spirits, they were able to help people as well. But as well, just a second, the way she's dressed, you may see, right? So the natural materials, the threads are used to make the belt, and as well she has many layers, and some of them, sorry for just taking underwear. So some of them are made with a very, very, very typical standard natural linen. With this brown color, and as well, one more thing I forgot to show. There is also interesting thing. There are shoes. You may see that these shoes are also handmade and traditionally Russian. They're made of the birch tree. Okay. Yeah, and one more. Of course, we can help speaking about this. Is this nesting doll, or in Russian it's called matryoshka. Matryoshka. Well, it's kind of a new thing. It's not very old in our culture. But it symbolizes the woman because it has the 5 little dolls inside. So it's a beautiful thing with traditional colors, and also wooden, and kids like to play with it. It's very interesting, so it develops their motor skills, at the same time being very cultural, right? So 3 dolls that we demonstrated to you.
But this is the kind that a lot of tourists would buy when they go to Russia, I think.
Yes, so it's promoted really well, but even though it's not very old, it's just more than 150 years old in our culture. So kukla motanka is much older, but still it symbolizes it. I would say it coincided with the whole mentality and the whole culture so much that it has. If you say to majority of people that it's a very new doll, the whole cult. We had Matryoshka all centuries of Russia, of Russian history. So it almost.
啱啱睇到嗰個套娃，大家可能去俄羅斯旅遊咧都買過㗎啦，一個咁其實亦都係細路哥嘅玩具，等佢哋啲手指仔可以得到啲運動啊咁樣。咁當然個公仔亦都係代表住一個母親，因為媽媽裏邊咧有啲小朋友嗰啲 BB 咁樣樣，所以亦都係一個好有趣嘅一種傳統嘅玩具。雖然佢大概都係得100幾年，但已經好普及啦咁樣。Okay, so why don't we go on to the demonstration itself? Now I think our viewers are really excited to do this. We are going to do is called the pole doll. And so, Irina, do you like us to turn off your camera?
Yes, please.
Prepare and
okay. Some minutes to prepare. Yeah, thank you.
咁我哋咧就喺呢個時間咧，亦都請大家咧攞定你啲材料出嚟啦，包括一啲布水啊，如果你有塊麻布，即係硬身啲嘅布咧，咁就會好好啦。要攞定一塊出嚟啦。另外就係攞啲棉球啦、花球，就唔需要去買嘅，有好多呢啲嘢咧都係屋企現成㗎啦。譬如話一啲毛冷啦、啲冷頭冷尾啊，或者係有啲棉線啦、幼嘅麻繩，咁我哋嗰啲公仔裏邊嘅布啦，可以攞定把鉸剪。雖然頭先 Irina 咧就話用絲嘅就得，咁如果你覺得絲塊布咧唔係咁容易控制咧，亦都可以用鉸剪嘅，因為我哋而家咧就做手工啦。
Okay, I think I'm ready, so it will be a surprising moment for a second because I need to switch
the
camera.
So
yes, okay.
Is ready. We are okay. Here we are. We have Irina and Angelina teaching us how to.
Okay, so yes, our hands are here. So let's just make sure.
大家準備好啦，我哋就開始一齊嚟做呢一個布娃娃啦。
Okay, so each of us, we have got 2 square basic cloth. I was very unlucky. In the place where I live, I couldn't find the cotton balls as balls, so I've got cotton pads, but it should be fine.
It should be fine.
All right. Do you see well both hands, right?
Yes.
Like both of us.
Right.
Okay, very nice. So let's start with this. So each of us. Okay, let me prepare.
Okay.
Some bread, and let's take one for you, one for me. One for you, one for me.
Okay. 咁大家如果屋企咧係媽咪、爹哋或者係公公婆婆、爺爺嫲嫲都可以一齊嚟做，同埋小朋友一齊，呢個就係一個好好嘅親。
And just let's try, yeah.
Okay. I think Dennis, you need to turn on Irina.
Okay.
Picture.
Okay. Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Good. Yes.
Okay. Would you excuse me? I just need to make sure that I have enough battery. Sorry, it will take 1 second.
Sure. I think our viewers are still getting ready, so 大家咧可以繼續準備你嘅材料啦。如果冇棉頭咧，其實唔緊要㗎，攞呢啲一片片嘅棉花咧，我哋搭埋佢一齊亦就係大家屋企裏邊有乜嘢就利用一下就得㗎啦。OK， 咁我哋睇到 Irina 好好幫手喎，幫我哋示範緊攞用一沓嘅棉啦，棉都 work 嘅，都可以嘅。Okay.
Yes. Okay. Okay, we are ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
as well, originally, the interesting thing is that it's considered that to make the doll very family style, you need to use the cloth. For example, it might be your old dress or your old skirt or something like this. Today's pieces of cloth were donated to us by one kind lady. Her name is Jeanette, so I'm very grateful to her. Yeah, because she brought exactly the pieces which look like as if they are from your home. Okay, so first of all, so the doll which we're making today is called the pole doll. Pole like pole, so it's the stick, something which is holding you vertically, right? So okay, first of all, we take it like this, horizontal, and we start to wrap. Of course, we wrap, we twist, and we make the vertical pole. Due to that, it's very harsh, so it's good, kind of not that soft enough, so it's going to be a good pole.
Can I just ask, so do we need to have a pretty thick or tough kind of cloth for the pole, or any cloth?
The thicker, the better. Yes, so if it's thick, so you see ours is kind of the very harsh linen, so it will keep the form rather than this one super soft. You see, this one is form. But actually, if you use a very big part, it may also suit. If you think it's not super thick, you can, for example, make it not that high, not that tall. Better to use the hands, not the scissors.
Right.
Okay, so you see, I just folded a little bit to make. I just decided to make it less vertical, less tall, but a bit thicker. So one of the options for that, yeah, the participants.
如果大家只係有一啲新嘅布都唔緊要㗎，你可以點就一就啦，或者捲長啲啦，都得嘅。Okay.
Again, right? So we speak about the handmade dolls, right? So whatever you do is right. Whatever you do is beautiful. Whatever you do is your doll. Okay. So, for example, Polina, it shouldn't be ideal. Just whatever you try to rule it, as much as you can.
每一個公仔咧都係一個獨特嘅一個公仔嚇，所以我哋唔需要太緊張，要做到好 perfect 啊咁樣係唔使嘅。
Okay, so you see, Polina is a perfectionist. She says, no, it's not super tidy. I said, no, it's okay, don't worry. Huh? So the next piece, you take the square one and you put, well, it's like the rhomb. You put it like this, so side here. And you take your cotton ball. Yes. So I took a bit more just because I want to make a big head. It's going to be a head, and you put inside in the middle. And you put it here. So you have corners, the corners.
Okay.
And then you just make it.
Okay, here we go. We have the head, right?
Yes, this is the head. We're going to take a thread.
咁啊，攞條線啦，或者攞條繩咧，就紮住佢咧，就個頭同頸就會出現啦。
Okay, so I'm wrapping the thread as well. You see, one more, 1, 2, 3 times, whatever. And actually, ideally, I can start singing something, or even the way I'm speaking is a bit singing.
Okay.
Yeah, you see, because it's okay. It's just a very calming process. Of course, you can get angry, annoyed. Oh no, I'm not an ideal master. I cannot do it properly. Again, nothing should be done properly. The way you do is perfect.
Okay. 咁我哋最多 Irina 做嘅啦，就係將個棉頭擠咗落去。
It's okay. If you don't like the long thread, you can just cut it a little bit.
Okay. 紮好之後咧，就會出現咗個頭啦。
It's okay. You just if you don't like the long one, you can just cut them.
係啦，咁中意長就得。
Okay, so how does it look like now? Actually, we have done already one of the dolls, which is called the angel, right? Basically, this is the angel. It looks like the angel, and it was also, for example, used to decorate the houses during the winter holidays. But now we go on, right? So we make sure that it's okay, but it's perfect. Not that. It's good. It's good. Yeah, so make sure that you have this. It looks like triangle. This is going to be our hands.
Okay. 咁呢個係左手啦，睇到呢隻左手，隻右手。
What we're going to do now, we put the head.
我哋紮咗嗰條柱咧，將佢加埋落去，就變成個身啦。Okay, so we stick the pole into the cloth and
we stick and well, there probably was another option, but it's okay. Again, whatever. So you can just take another thread. Let's take another thread and just do it one more time.
Okay.
So now we just have to
tie it again.
Tie it again, yeah. If you don't want to tie it again, or if you don't think that's stable, let's make one step back. So I just tied it one more time. And for Polina, I'll just do the following. We will take it. We will change our mind a little bit and open the head for a second. It's okay, all perfect, because our doll is made by us and made for us. So we return one step back and put it on.
擠咗條柱啦，布柱落去啦，然後先至紮，都 OK 嘅。咁睇下你中意用邊個方法。Right, so it doesn't really matter whether it is putting into the head or
not. Yeah, no. It's this one is not that important thing.
Yes. So we just find a way that suits us.
Yes, exactly. So whatever you want to do. So because it might be like this, because some dolls they're made. For example, some dolls, just you see my spooling down. Some dolls they used to make. They put their head right inside and then they make this stick, right? So whatever.
Yes.
All is okay. Mine fell down, but it's all right. I'm going to use. Okay, sorry. Yes, mine is not ideal either.
Well, Irina,
okay, it's going to be, yeah. I'm going to calm down a bit more.
唔係幾夠實咧，我哋拆開嚟再講過都得嘅，唔使太話有一個方法係其實係同一件事。
Irina will take another piece of thread at the moment, and she will tie the bottom part of the doll as well.
大家睇清楚啦，係將條柱咧加咗落去之後，然後一齊綁埋，咁就出現頭同埋身啦。Okay. Yes, that's very clear.
I'm taking.
So the next step is the hands, right?
Yes, that's right. The next step is the hands. I'm just quickly changing Irina and finishing the body. Just as well, this one. Each movement can be significant, but normally it has some reason. So at the moment we are using the thread for the body in order to keep the stick stronger. And of course we can explain that it will help to keep our body stronger.
Right.
And our mind. Okay, the next one is the hands, right? So for hands, we take the sides, okay?
Oh, okay.
And we leave some part for the palm. Which was the name?
Oh, is it so? This step actually is nice to use a handkerchief, right? If we have an old handkerchief, and we just make use of it to make the head.
Yes.
And then now we can tie two edges or two corners of the handkerchief and make the hands.
Yes, that's why the square shape is better.
Yes. Okay.
More convenient.
Yes. So we can also show the PowerPoint here to the viewers. So what we do is to take two corners of the handkerchief and tie it up 係下邊4個書咧，大家睇唔睇到？唔係，係個4字嗰度係啦。咁大家睇到咧，即係其實就係隻手啦。4字上面我哋見到隻手咧，就係將個手跟咗條線紮之後咧，就變成咗隻手啦。咁我哋兩邊都係綁好之後咧，就會 而家開始見到個頭啦、身啦，同埋兩隻手出現咗啦。
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is how it looks like at the moment. So let me just remove that. Some dolls, for example, some like professionals, those who do the dolls regularly. It's not me. I'm more often speaking about the dolls. So that's why I'm very home style, you know. The professionals who are the professionals? The professionals, it means they just work with the dolls quite often. It's only one of the directions of the studying of the Slavic culture, just because for us it's already the part of the history. So they sometimes wrap the cloth here in order to make their hands more beautiful, but as well, it's just totally up to you. We speak about your own dolls, so whatever you do is good. The next one.
Okay, let me just add this point. 因為時間關係，其實我已經整咗個公仔。咁大家觀眾會見到我揸住頭先咧，就 Irina 就提到啦。當我哋呢條手巾仔啦嚇，你做咗兩隻手之後，有好多咧做呢一個公仔嘅人咧，就中意將嗰個角落頭尖尖嗰處咧，就接咗佢入去咁樣樣。
Okay, now we make the belt, the waist.
偏嘅，咁喺呢個情況之下咧，就可以睇到一個平嘅手出咗嚟。大家亦都可以考慮呢一樣。所以而家我哋又我要打開睇下咧，我都係一個鋪裝咧，做好咗啦，加埋咗個頭啦，然後做咗兩隻手出嚟啦。我應該咁樣大家睇得清楚嘅啦。我要兩隻手啦。
Made the belt.
Yes.
To show the waist, and again, I'm cutting off the thread, you know, just out of some feeling. I don't know if that they're too long, but it's not required. It's not that important.
Yes.
Okay, Paulina's finishing too. Yes. Our next is to make the skirt.
其實亦都係視乎你自己當時工程啦同埋喜好咧，都可以去 adjust 嘅。Right.
Okay, so why don't I make it a bit smaller? So I'll take. Okay, I take this. What do you make?
Are we making the dress now?
Yes, we're making the dress now. We start with a skirt. Okay, so I put it face up. Face up. I put it here. On the waist.
Okay.
Okay. It's just the moment of processing.
So 將布嘅面咧做條裙咧，布面向上，然後將公仔擺上去上面啦，然後就紮住佢條腰嗰度啦。佢個作用係咩咧？就係要遲啲要將佢覆翻落嚟嘅，咁就面仍然係個面啦。咁我哋可以睇到啦，係咪啊？大家可以留意到咧，係將塊布咧係放喺個上半身嘅，其實咁然後喺腰度放一條線。
Okay, so you see what I'm doing?
Yes.
It looks like I focus for the skirt, but I'm sorry.
Let's just see. 係啦，綁好咗。
Because now I'm going to do like this.
係啦，覆翻落嚟。Okay, we pull it over and it becomes the right side. And that's the skirt. Yes. Yes. Now here we go. So Irina is also making the dress.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So we have the skirt now.
We have this. We can take one more.
Let's take one more.
Okay, sure. So it doesn't matter how many layers. So as long as we like.
Yes. Again, the pole doll, it looks vertically, right? So basically that's the base. If you want to add more skirts, for example, I want to make one more skirt so that it has more volume. No, I will just add. Paulina, do you want to add one more skirt? No.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is fine. I'm going to add one more.
同你嘅咧，你可以加多幾浸嘅。覆翻頭先呢個步驟，攞一塊布，將個公仔咧喺個布上面啦，跟住條腰嗰度，再覆翻落嚟，咁佢就會多咗一層。Okay, yes. So here we go, another layer of skirt.
The next one, Polina says that you decided to finish, right? So one skirt is enough. Okay.
Yes. Okay. 一浸就得啦，好似 Polina 咁樣啦，就一浸啦。如果好似 Irina 咁咧，就2層啦。
Yeah. Okay. Mine is a bit difficult.
冇乜所謂嘅，大家可以自由創作，中意一層多幾層都得。
Now we will take. I have a very beautiful one. Now we're going to make the apron.
Okay.
So again, it's very logical that the doll may repeat the traditional dress. So the traditional dress for the Russian woman, what was it? It was kind of the underwear,
Yes.
or like underwear skirt.
Yes.
And then another skirt which was called panyova, another one. Then there was an apron. An apron. So so let's use the scissors.
Right.
Mine will be green. What will you take for apron? So it's not very wide. So this will be enough, and not that long. Just I will take it.
好，咁我哋剪一塊出嚟做圍裙啦。
So we would attach it in the same way, right? So as if we close our doll. So I could.
就係同頭先一樣咧，將佢擺上去，然後綁住條腰啦。
I'm using the thread, you know. It's okay, looks good. Okay, just you also wrap the cloth as well. You wrap the thread. The more you wrap, the more calm you feel, like this movement of wrapping. So here my apron.
咁我哋不如 show 下嗰張 PowerPoint 咧，其實亦都可以睇到嘅。嗰個步驟咧就係咁樣啦。下一個係啦，用圍裙咧就係都係喺右手邊嗰個圖咧綁好咗之後，然後將佢覆翻落嚟，就會變成圍裙。OK。咁但頭先 Irina 都提到傳統上咧農村嘅婦女衫咧都好行嘅裙咧會出嚟。
Okay. The next thing, the head. Again, as I mentioned already, the Russian women never appeared with hair out. It was always something above. The married woman had always head covered. Yeah. So it may be one handkerchief on her head, or maybe one under, and then some beautiful shawl above. So I'll make a few today. For that, I take another piece of square cloth. Make it as a triangle. Triangle.
揀一塊靚布先，就做頭巾，接成三角形。Okay.
And I put it above my doll. So one of the ways to make the handkerchief in the Russian way, you cover the forehead.
Yes.
And then you fold it.
OK， 我哋而家係用俄羅斯頭巾嘅方式咧，就幫個公仔咧包一條頭巾。大家都應該見到啦，係咪啊？先冚住額頭啦，然後左右兩邊覆去後。
So or like this, for example. Yeah, you can do like this. Okay, so let's.
Polina 先。
So take something. No.
呢個方法咧，就咁嬲住咧頭巾咧，然後攞條繩綁住，亦都得嘅。因為傳統上婦女咧喺農村裏邊咧，都係用頭巾冚住自己嘅頭髮，等佢唔好頭髮外露出嚟嘅。咁我哋睇到另外一個方法啦，三角形冚住咗之後，綁住都得嘅。
I do it twice.
show 下嗰張 PowerPoint 俾大家睇下頭巾係點嘅先，係啦，由個額頭開始冚住啦，然後左右兩邊覆咗去後邊。
I will also just.
咁呢個都係一個已經幾完整嘅布娃娃啦。
So it's kind of, you see the basic doll is ready. So what means that it has all the features that we need to have for the doll. So it's dressed properly. It has hands. It has no face. It is rather solid, it's standing, and the head is covered. We need to put the beautiful belt. Yes, so it's impossible that the woman has no belt. So let's put the belt.
OK， 咁我哋而家做條腰帶先。咁不如我哋睇下下面嗰張 PPT 咧。其實嚟到呢度咧，大家開始創作啦，因為基本嘅布娃娃嘅結構已經出現咗啦。咁我哋如果仲想整靚啲咧，我哋可以幫佢加條披肩啦，可以幫佢加頸鏈啦、腰帶啦。
Red is the best color for the belt because, well, red symbolizes life. Yes, so red is one of the most favorite colors for threads. So, for example, the basic one, right? So she has an apron, she has the skirt, the head is covered, she has the belt, so the evil spirits won't come through. Wrapped here, tied here, tied from the bottom. So, well, it's protected, no face, no evil spirits will come into our doll. It is made by us, it is wrapped by us, means that, well, you can see that it actually may characterize the person itself, right? That mine has big head, for example, not very tall. Spelina is very up and very thin. Okay, the direction goes up, maybe not.
Right. So it's very important that you're wrapping up for us that this is actually a very philosophical kind of process, right? So because it's vertical, it goes up, it symbolizes spiritual development. You also have the spiral movements, which shows how people are actually situated in the universe, right? And with everything all tied up, we are strong and we take care of ourselves as well. So all these wrappings, and so although they are really the clothing of a woman in the village, actually it tells us how important it is that we remember our culture and history. And so I think this is a wonderful item to make as a doll for the children as well. So and I can see you are adding more layers. Okay? Irina, we lost you again. 咦，我哋有少少技術問題添。Irina, where are you？ 咁大家唯有就睇住我個公仔先啦。呢一個咧就係我之前做嘅，喺Irina 嘅指導之下咧已經做好咗啦。咁包括一條裙啦，咁我就貪靚啲咧，就做咗3條圍裙嘅，咁用唔同色嘅布咧就可以做咗3條圍裙俾佢啦。跟住就綁咗腰帶。咁啱啱 Irina 講咧，其實傳統上最好係用紅色嚟做腰帶，因為紅色咧象徵生命力嘅。咁我哋呢度就隨便屋企有啲乜嘢色，我哋就做咗啲咩色啦。咁基本上一個布娃娃嘅結構就出咗嚟啦，係啦。OK， 我哋而家要揾翻 Irina 先，因為我哋仲未揾到。咁大家如果屋企譬如有一啲珠鏈啦，我 show 俾大家睇下先。有啲頸鏈啦，唔再用啦，又或者頭夾跌咗對花出嚟啊，即係各式各樣嘅呢啲小飾物咧，都可以將佢利用。譬如呢一條頸鏈咧，就被重複使用啦。我哋將佢再生頸鏈喺後邊打咗個裂咧，就變成布娃娃嘅一條頸鏈啦。咁其實有好多種方法咧，你可以繼續俾啲唔同嘅裝飾佢嘅。咁我哋可以。大家就發揮下自己嘅創作力，做成自己嘅公仔啦。咁 Irina 亦都提過咧，就其實公仔咧可以每一年咧，當小朋友長大嘅時候咧，你都可以幫佢加一啲唔同嘅裝飾上去啦。所以公仔咧其實咧就跟住小朋友一路成長，咁所以變成小朋友一個好獨特嘅 一個陪住佢成長啦，同佢一齊玩嘅。
Sorry, something is wrong with our device.
我哋揾翻 Irina 出嚟先。Irina 姐姐
To finish.
，Hi， we don't see you。Hello。睇下揾唔揾得翻 Irina 出嚟先。咁喺呢個時候咧，我哋睇下觀眾有冇乜嘢問題先。咦，一個問題好好喎，係喺邊度可以見到俄羅斯朋友喺香港？咁我哋仲未接通翻 Irina， 但可以答少少。Oh, hi, here we are.
Yes, sorry about this.
Okay, continue.
Just the last moment, and I was quickly adding is that each of us created the doll according to our own feelings. Mine is the mother. I'm going to add a bit later, one more layer, because you see mine is wearing the shawl. And my daughter's doll has a beautiful necklace on it.
Yes.
Yes, she decorated with a black necklace that she made herself. Right, so you see each doll is unique and loved, because in the process while you're making it, you start loving it already. And hopefully it will protect you and help you to be kind and calm in nowadays in unstable world. And yeah.
Yes. So as you say in this PowerPoint, I think this is important because oftentimes our children have too many toys and they tend not to take care of them. And I think this is important to say that actually we should all learn to take good care of our toys, and especially when you have a doll that grows up with you, you should take care of it, and then it will keep you company and protect you and keep you positive thinking and keep you happy, really. Yes, this is wonderful. Irina just showed us how a mother's doll would look like with an extra shawl, and Lena shows us how the daughter's doll will look like. There we go. The mother and daughter having a mother and daughter dolls. And so actually I'm going to share with you that I have a friend that she is just a new grandmother. So she just had a new granddaughter. So what she did was to make 3 dolls. She made one for herself, so this grandmother doll. She made one for the daughter, her daughter, the new mother. And she made the 3rd one, a smaller one, for her granddaughter. So she has the grandmother, mother, and granddaughter. So,
that's very nice. Well, as long as she puts her soul into it, then it will be worth it for sure.
Yes, yes, that's very important. As you were saying, 我哋頭先一路講咧 ，Irina 一路提醒我哋喺度做嘅時候咧，其實將自己嘅愛心啦，將自己嘅一啲良好嘅心態咧，喺做個公仔嘅時候，一路係將佢強化啦，同埋灌輸出嚟。所以呢個好重要啦，尤其是小朋友啦，往往公仔或者玩具太多啦，今時今日。咁我哋好希望通過佢自己親手去做一個公仔咧，亦都會增強佢嘅愛心啦，同埋會識得照顧自己嘅玩具嘅。咁我哋見到呢兩個咧，媽媽同埋女嘅公仔咧已經做起啦。媽媽公仔咧有條頭巾嘅，女公仔咧就有頸鏈嘅。咁啱啱同 Irina 講咧，就我有一個朋友咧，佢因為啱啱做咗婆婆，佢就幫自己做咗3個公仔啦，一個係婆婆啦，一個係佢嘅女，即係新媽媽啦，就加埋孫女，咁一家3個通過一套嘅咁樣嘅布瓜娃咧，就係可以聯絡佢哋嘅感情啦。咁我哋就係好開心啦。咁我哋不如咧睇下大家有冇問題先。So let's go to the Q&A session. We do have 2 questions. One, and which is that how long has Melina learned to make the doll? Oh, okay. Young girls in general in Russia, when do they start learning this?
We're speaking about the village. We're speaking about the Slavic tribes. It means that as soon as the girl was born, as soon as she was able to walk, she was starting to do some things in the house, right? So making doll is not like having fun exactly. Making doll was, well, they believe that it's protecting people. So as soon as the girl was starting to help her parents and grandparents about the house, bringing the water and cooking the food, she was starting to wrap the dolls and work with the materials and sewing and so on. I would say maybe like 3 years old, like this, starting from 3 and basically never ending during all their lives.
Okay, so 3歲開始咧，細路女就可以開始學整公仔。咁當然除咗係好玩之外咧，其實亦都慢慢去幫佢理解呢個社會關係啦，或者女仔屋企裏邊咧可以幫手做啲乜嘢啦，咁都係一個咁樣嘅學習過程嚟嘅。And we have another question, which is, how can I meet Russians in Hong Kong? So that's a question for you. Where do we get to meet some Russian friends?
Nowadays, of course, all Russian people as well as other people are hiding. We have the Russian club in Hong Kong, which is working quite actively. So there are, at the moment, we have online knowledge games, which is called Что, где, когда, where, what, where, when. It's kind of an intellectual game online. So you just follow the Facebook page of Russian club and be aware of the activities. We have the Russian Language Center, and you can come and learn Russian language and meet the teachers or other people. And we hold Russian Culture Festival for 3 years already in Hong Kong. So this year it's probably will happen mainly online, so kind of online lectures and online tours and excursions around the galleries and so on. But yes, and as well there are other Russian schools like Russian art school, for example, or Russian music school, where you can meet Russian teachers and Russian people as well. So yeah, just follow the Facebook page of the Russian club, and normally they inform about all major Russian speaking and events and the events around Russian culture.
So we can just type Russian club and Google
Russian club in Hong Kong. Yeah, Russian club in Hong Kong.
Russian club Hong Kong. So
yes.
Okay, so that's for our viewers. If you're interested in learning more about the Russian language, Russian culture, meet some Russian friends, and maybe go hiking or field trips and whatever. And
visiting sport together or watching the films. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, wow, that's great. So, and I understand you also have a language culture center in Shanghai, right?
Yes, that's the Russian Language Center.
Yes, and the Orthodox Church next door.
Yes, exactly.
So there are many, different ways of finding Russian friends, and especially when I think Russians today are also in different professions. They are in different workplaces, situations, and so you probably see them sitting next to you, working together as a colleague. So feel free to, I guess, ask them to teach you about Russian culture. And of course, we can also get the borscht soup. I really, the soup is.
Of course, it's called losonten.
Exactly. So it's always in every restaurant.
Yes.
Although it's probably a corrupted form of it.
That's okay. So let's wait until we come back to normal, and we promise we'll make some cooking class for you. There is a restaurant where you can try the Russian food as well. It's located in mid-levels. There are 2 restaurants where you can try borscht. So they are located in mid-levels, and I'm sure they cook it professionally.
Okay. Yeah, I think there is another question. Let me take the next question. How big is the Russian community in Hong Kong now? Has it increased or decreased from the early days?
Yeah, so if you speak about the people who come from Russia them itself, so those who are connected with registered in the consulate, officially it's around 2,000. But there are more people, maybe up to 4,000, because we normally speak about the Russian-speaking community, so people who speak Russian language. So we think there is an idea that's around up to 4,000.
Okay.
It's increasing every year.
Yeah, right, really. I suppose they are also in international trade, and they're coming here to teach. Also
teach, work, travel, try, study. There are a lot of Russian students in the universities.
Yeah, really. Yes, that's right. 咁我諗對於我哋中文聽眾嚟講咧，我啱翻譯少少咧，就係今天咧喺香港嘅俄羅斯裔嘅社區咧，大概有4000零人啦。Irina 講，雖然俄羅斯領事館咧佢哋實際上官方數字大概2000幾啦，但係因為有好多譬如話國際生啦，亦都有人嚟工作啦，短期居留啦，咁所以其實大致上咧就有4000鬆啲人咁樣嘅。咁而家佢哋當然係喺唔同嘅專業裏邊啦，喺唔同嘅 職業裏邊咧，都可以揾到俄羅斯裔朋友嘅身影啦。咁我諗今天我哋嘅時間又差唔多，但係大家如果對俄羅斯文化好有興趣咧，正如我哋頭先講咧，就有一個 Russian Club 啦，有俄羅斯會嘅，咁大家可以 Google 一下咧。Irina 咧就話大家其實係好歡迎你嚟參加佢哋嘅活動嘅，佢哋時時有放下電影啦，或者有討論啦，又或者係去下旅行啦。所以咧或者等疫情比較穩定落嚟啦，咁減退咗咧，就大家會可以參加到佢哋嘅活動。咁喺上環咧，亦都有俄羅斯嘅粵語文中心啦，同埋有東正教嘅教會，咁都係一啲可以幫助大家接觸到啦，或者去認識啲俄羅斯朋友嘅一啲地方嚟嘅。咁嚟到呢度差唔多啦，我哋時間啦，希望大家今日除咗學識到整一個布娃娃之外咧，亦都了解多啲俄羅斯嘅文化嘅。咁我哋翻嚟呢一度 PowerPoint， 其實我哋最後仲有一張嘅，就係如果大家想了解我多啲我哋多元文化行動計劃嘅活動咧，可以你可以而家即刻影咗我哋兩個 QR code 咧，一個係我哋嘅網頁啦，可以上嚟睇我哋嘅資料。另外就係去到我哋嘅 Facebook 嗰度咧，隨時睇到我哋更新嘅資料，譬如話知道我哋下次嘅工作坊係幾時啦。然後我哋可以喺不如我賣少少廣告先係嘛？我哋下一次嘅手工藝工作坊咧，將會係學整呢個土耳其嘅浮水畫，好犀利啊！咁如果大家有興趣咧，記得上嚟 Facebook 睇我哋最新嘅資訊。Okay, so we have this two hyperlinks here, which is one is a Multiculturalism in Action website. Feel free to go up and take a look at all the resources that we have there. We also have the recordings of previous workshops. Come to our Facebook page as well, because we announce new information very often. We have regular postings, and I was just saying the next workshop is going to be on the Turkish Hebrew painting, which is a lot of fun. So make sure you come to our Facebook and look at the information we provide and mark down the date and time, etc. And before we go, we need to learn one Russian phrase before we go. Okay, so Irina, we need your help. How do you say goodbye in Russian?
We say it, до свидания.
До свидания, right?
Да.
До свидания and goodbye. So everybody, say this with us. До свидания. So until next time, goodbye. And thank you so much, Irina, and for
You're very welcome.
Stay in touch. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
До свидания.
До свидания.